looks like. And we're so glad that XR has connected the issue of migrant justice with climate justice. It's been a long time coming and we're here together. My name is Chrissy. I'm a Global Women Against Deportations, which is a coalition based at Crossroads Women's Centre, and it includes a number of anti-deportation, anti-detention groups that have been organising since the mid-70s. Yes, because we have the right to be here, and I think you're going to hear that from a number of different groups here. I'm here co-hosting with my sister from Action Against Detention and Deportation, so we're both going to give you a little bit of a history about ourselves, but we wanted to take this opportunity for some groups to speak, and we do have some speakers who've been nominated, and if you'd like to make your way here, because I don't know what you look like or who you are at this moment in time, so that would be great. And I'm hoping that everybody's got a pink boat. You all got pink boats? You know what, it would be fantastic if we could have a photo opportunity. Everybody put their pink boats in the air, and everybody else with a camera, picture it! Because we are going to send these boats to these politicians. I'm hoping you've chosen selectively about who you want to target, because they sure as hell know they want to target us. So let's get back. Okay, and we're really glad for all the support from XR, because without them we wouldn't even have the pink boats. 20,000 were produced and have been distributed across the 3 days so far. And having personally given some out, they have been snapped up. People have been like, yes, this is what we want. And plus the added bonus of making something from origami, that really struck the kids yesterday when they were hanging about for the hour before the march moved. So, great stuff, thanks to them. And one other thing I wanted to say was I'm glad it was organised during the marathon. Because many of you will know that Mo Farah recently came out as having been trafficked to this country. And that there are many sports people, there are many people of colour, there are many migrant people that have kept this country going through COVID. Remember, they were all clapped? Yes, and the nurses and everything else. But did they get a pay rise? Did they? No. The junior doctors? It would cost $1 billion to settle that dispute. And they wasted, this government, $37.5 billion on PPE, which they then burnt up, polluting us all. So we know it's a political choice, and we know where their priorities lie, and our job as this massive movement is to move them, either out of the way, or to where we want to go with the changes we want to make. So great, thank you all for being here. We can challenge this racism, this sexism, this misogyny, in whatever damn authority they've got trying to put us down, whether we're protesters or not. You know, whether we're just minding our business, whether we're victims of rape, or whether we're people of colour being stopped and searched on the streets. These are all our struggles, and what's very clear is there's a lot of people who are on our side, and there's more of us than them. So I'm going to hand you over to Hope to say something.
Thanks, Chrissy. I hope you can all hear me. So we're from Action Against Detention and Deportations Coalition, and here today with all of you fighting for climate justice, because we know that climate justice is migrant justice. Yes. And when we say this, we're not just talking in abstract terms. We say no borders. We fight for no borders because the same borders that are used to trap people in oppressive social conditions, in unequal economic, global inequalities that are perpetuated by people who work in these offices, people who work in Parliament. When we talk about no borders because of climate justice, we also want no borders because border violence is harming our brothers, our sisters, our non-binary siblings. Border violence is at the heart of climate justice. And when we see people being stopped in immigration raids, when we see people being stopped and searched by the police, it's the same logics that's telling us that the people around us are suspects. People around us are not to be cared for, but to be questioned. And when we're talking about climate justice, we're talking about care. We're talking about caring for our neighbours, for people around us. We're talking about not looking at the land as something to extract money from, but as something that we can share and grow in together. So that's what we're here to fight for. And we're going to hear from some other speakers that will say in probably much better words than me. So I won't go on all day, but thank you all for being here. And this is not the end, this is very much the beginning. And we need turnouts like this to remind people in these buildings, in positions of power, that we're not going to let them make decisions on our behalf, and that there will be a resistance.
Yes. Thank you, Ho. Thank you very much. I'd like to call on our first speaker, who is Sasha from Homes Not Hotels, I think. Sasha? You want to lift up?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Sasha and I'm speaking on behalf of Homes Not Hotels campaign in Brighton. Our campaign in Brighton started in late January following the horrific news that over 137 unaccompanied asylum-seeking children had gone missing from a Home Office-run hotel in our city. The state assumes responsibility for those within its borders who are most vulnerable. However, this system is so grossly inadequate that children are literally disappearing from within it. This is a direct result of the gross negligence and hostility of the Tory government. This government's treatment of people seeking asylum in this country is an utter disgrace. Not only does our violent border regime mean that people are forced to take dangerous routes into the UK, but the border is then extended into our communities in the form of these Home Office-run hotels. These hotels are not fit for purpose. I work providing support to people in the hotels, and I see firsthand the negative effects that they have on people's well-being. Although these are meant to be temporary accommodation, people are often stuck here for well over a year. These are human beings trapped in limbo, waiting for their asylum claims to be processed, with nothing to do and with no right to work. Individuals have often told me that they feel like prisoners in these hotels. These hotels are another form of detention, and so are a part of the government's cruel attempt to criminalise and incarcerate people seeking asylum in this country. Furthermore, the new Immigration Bill has created new powers to detain people. Detention can now exist in any place deemed viable by the Home Secretary. So what does the Home Secretary deem viable? Disused prisons, RAF bases, barges. This bill is an assault on human rights and will put people's lives at risk. It will give the government the ability to do what it wants without being held to account by the people. The repeal of human rights always starts with those perceived as a threat, in this case migrants, but ultimately will impact everyone. This is not just an attack on the rights of migrants, but an attack on everyone's rights. And time again, the government will blame the most vulnerable in our communities for injustices caused by the rich and powerful in order to detract from their own failings. We must oppose the government's perpetual scapegoating of asylum seekers and other marginalised groups, especially as it intensifies in the lead up to the elections. We need to continue to challenge the hostile environment and keep holding our government to account. This starts in our communities by calling for homes not hotels and challenging unsuitable accommodation, by creating community spaces where everyone is welcome, by opposing the anti-refugee bill, by calling for safe passage, and by setting up anti-raid groups in your local areas. All protection, dignity, healthcare, and good quality housing, regardless of their immigration status. No human is illegal.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for the words that I think we can all agree with. Next, we have a speaker from the All African Women's Group. So if we all give a round of applause.
Wow. Okay, a good afternoon to you all. My name is Lou from the All African Women's Group. We are 100 plus women seeking asylum from different countries, not only in Africa, but also in other continents. Yep, and different backgrounds. We are mothers, lesbians, and bi. Some with our children here, and some, sadly, we were forced to leave them behind when we escaped. We fled from war, persecution, rape, starvation, and now, more than ever, environmental destruction. We see the pink boats, yeah? Pink boats here, and feel for the people who risked their lives crossing the sea and land. We oppose the illegal migration bill. This government bombs people out of their homes, then builds barriers to stop them escaping for their lives. In our group, some sisters have been put in detention centers, and this has left us more fragile and near suicidal. But many of us resisted with hunger strikes and other protests and won our release and status. We are often treated like we have no rights to be here. But we do, because the wealth of our countries has been stolen for centuries.
Yes!
We have a right to come, to save our lives, and claim the wealth.
Yes!
Back home, women are the main caregivers and the small-scale farmers, growing food for our families, community, looking after the land, animals, and preserving the environment. Our work is almost always unpaid and made worse by drought, flooding, hurricanes, and other disasters caused by the climate crisis, which we haven't caused. This destruction is driven by corporate greed.
Yes!
And profiteering and corruption. This is what is driving millions of us to flee. Mothers and children suffer most. We are more likely to be poor, to be unable to escape, and to be targeted for rape and other violence. We are here because the murderers, polluters, billionaires are still there, stealing our resources everywhere. And we demand the right to stay, to end destitution, detentions, and deportations. Stop the illegal migration bill and the Rwanda Plan.
Thank you. That was fantastic. That's what we need to hear.
Yeah!
We all need to hear firsthand what it's about, and we also need to know that when they've done what they've done to asylum seekers, they're coming for us. We're next in line. None of us is safe if one of us isn't safe. And I have to say, following from what Lou said, that it's women of colour in particular who are at the heart of these global justice movements. As she said, doing the unwaged work in the face of the ruthless wars, of poverty, sexism, and misogyny. And we are the ones that protect our children and our loved ones from everything that they have in mind for us, just as we do here when we arrive here, and just as we do as mothers and grannies and sisters and aunts everywhere. So just remember, we all come from a mother, and I want us to remember how much our mothers do for us and make sure that we fight on for those that are not with us. And today, I want to also remember one of our sisters who is not with us, who was a fantastic fighter in Thailand, who really helped to build a movement out there of sex workers fighting for their rights. And sometimes we lose some of our most precious people, but the way we deal with that is to carry on fighting for them, to do everything that they want us to do. So let us beware of the ones that we've lost, as Lou said, those who crossed the sea, but all of our loved ones, and that we fight on for everything that we know they want us to do. I'm looking for a speaker from JCWI. We had somebody down. Is anybody here? No? Okay, we've just been given a note. There's a young man from Algeria who's recently come over on a boat, and we'd love to hear him speak, if that's okay with everybody. Is he here? Would you like to step forward? Thank you, brother.
Hi, everybody. My name is Moon. I'm 24 years old. And according to Suella Braverman, I'm an invader in this country, which is fucking hilarious. Okay. I'm not a military strategist, but if I look at the shore and I see a boat arriving with babies, 2-week-old, and with women, pregnant, and with paralyzed people on a boat, the first idea that comes to my mind would not be, these are invaders. The first idea that comes to my mind would be, let's give these people shelter, let's give these people protection. And it's astonishing listening to this government lies about this problem when they say that the French police are helping us. I was tear gassed by the French police. I was assaulted by French police. And hopefully, because I speak French, I was able to talk them out of it. One night we were in a jungle and we were abused, ambushed by the CRS, the special military forces of the French police. And we had pregnant women with us, and they tear gassed us. And there was a baby laying on the floor, and I had to pick him up and run away from the police. I tried 10 times to reach Britain, because I speak English, and that's why I want to be here, because I want to be in a place where people can understand me and I can understand them. And I mean, looking for happiness is a human right, and no human is illegal. We love you, and I love you too. I thought that the journey here would take me an hour. It took me 11 hours, and the waves were so high, and the water started getting into the boat, and I started crying. And I remembered my mother, and she didn't know that I'm making the journey. I didn't want her to know about it, and I thought I was gonna die. And there was a person next to me. I didn't know him, he's a stranger, and I was holding his hand for 2 hours, and I could feel him and he could feel me. And in that moment, I knew that all humans are basically one soul shared into billions. I don't want to be labeled as a refugee. I'm a human being, and I dream to become a filmmaker one day and shed light on human stories and the idea that through love, everything's possible. Thank you so much.
For sharing your personal experience with us. And I think you said it so beautifully when you said that everyone deserves happiness, right? That searching for happiness should be a human right. And we're told so many times that you have to fit certain criteria to be a refugee, that you have to have come the right way, that you have to have come from certain conditions. Everyone should be able to move freely for whatever reason they want. We are all citizens of the same earth, and it's only the border regime that tells us that certain people can travel freely. Because honestly, if you have a British passport, for example, you can move the earth pretty freely. We don't really see borders in the same way with people with different passports. And if you want to move for whatever reason, we should all be free to do so, because happiness, as Moon said so beautifully, is a human right, and we should all be able to search for that.
Yes.
I think we're going to hear from a speaker from Calais now, but I thought maybe we should get some chanting going in the meantime. So I say it loud, say it clear.
Refugees are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Refugees are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Refugees are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Refugees are welcome here.
Thank you. Now, speaking from Calais.
We do have a speaker from one of the other groups that's involved in Global Women Against Deportations, which is Women of Colour in the Global Women's Strike. And maybe people might want to start passing up their pink boats. We're supposed to put them on the grass so we can get them down here. But anyway, we can get this. As we're speaking now, maybe some more pink boats can come.
Hello, everybody. I'm kind of overwhelmed at the numbers, and we look absolutely beautiful together. I wanted to thank Extinction Rebellion for widening the issue. This is what we need, and we need even more of it. I would just underline what the young brother from Algeria said. We are all one. The people on the boats, the people of the global south, in Africa, in India, and Latin America. We all have a right to life, to happiness, and to everything that we build in this world.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are making a movement to rebuild the world, and it starts with opening the borders and bringing our people here. We in the global south have worked for 500 years. The wealth in Britain is ours.
Yes.
And also, that it belongs to white working class people who have also worked. Together, when we get together, we can claim it all back. We're campaigning for a guaranteed care income for everybody in the world, every gender, every class that does caring work for people in the planet. That includes the work of organizing events like today, and it includes the work of mothers who do the survival work day in, day out, and often do not get recognized. Our movements are coming together. The movement against rape, the movement against police violence, the movement of people with disabilities, the climate justice movement, the immigration and asylum rights movement, and the women's movement, all of us together. We lift from the bottom so that we all go up together. The one last thing I wanted to say is that there are women in high places. There are even women of color like Sue Braverman, and they do not represent us. And we must not get sidetracked by women or black people in high places. We start from the grassroots, because the grassroots is where we feel it and where we know it and where we build it.
That's right.
for everyone who's come out today. Each one of us represents thousands, hundreds of thousands of people everywhere in the world. And when we look around, we know together we can do it, we can build it, we can claim it, and make a caring society for all of us everywhere in the world. Thank you again. Let's stay together like this.
Thank you, sir. We're all here together, but the movement doesn't end here. And the real organising work isn't necessarily in massive demos like this. This is a great start, and it's so great to see the power of our collective solidarity. But we continue the work at home, and we continue the work in our day-to-day lives. We talk about building a world built on care. That starts with care for your neighbours, your siblings, the people you work with, the people you see on the streets. This work must be our lives. It cannot be a hobby or an activity. We must truly embody this in everything we do. And so often, this labour falls on women, people of colour, and the people who are at the forefront of these crises, of these struggles, of this violence. We cannot let people continue to die on the front lines because the people who live in safety think it's okay for them to do nothing. This is amazing, but it's not enough. We must continue this. And I hope everyone here today is here to make a commitment or continue their commitment to embodying the struggle in every part of their lives. I think I'd like to invite Rob up to speak quickly, who I'm told his idea it was for these brilliant pink boats that we see. So, Rob, if you would like to speak, we all want to hear from you.
Hey, Rob! Woohoo!
Hi, everyone. It's really amazing to be here and to see everyone here. I feel very inadequate, and I shouldn't really be speaking. It's an incredible privilege to be able to do this and to make space. And it's such a hard fight to do that, always. We have to make so much more space in our lives. And I just want these boats to be a commitment from all of us. Everyone's put their names to it. Let that be a commitment. You don't need any other contract to sign. You don't need to sign up to any other mailing list. This is the commitment that you've made, and you've made these pink boats. And it looks incredible behind there. They're putting them on the moat in front of the Home Office, and they're floating down. It looks absolutely incredible. It's ridiculous that the Home Office has a moat. It's ridiculous that this country has a moat. It's a horror story. And I just want to repeat, everyone has said it so much more beautifully. This is just the beginning of something. How easy it is to do something so small like folding a boat. How hard it is to commit to make that the first step of an extremely long path to real change. And I really want this to be a commitment from everyone to that, everyone I see here, because I look around and I go, we really are uniting to survive. We really are getting it into our bones now. And we've got to take that further. We've got to keep coming back. And we've got to keep working harder. So thank you so much, and thank you to everyone else who organised this. It's always a team effort, and just an amazing work has gone into this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob. I'm just going to tell you what to do with the boats. Oh yes. Now these boats are going places, I tell you. I just wanted to give a quick shout out also for the human rights defenders around the world. Yes. Many of whom, are paying the price with their lives for defending their communities, for defending the land, for trying to get rid of the polluters, and to have them come and slaughter people. It takes whole communities, from Thailand to Haiti, from Palestine, to countries in Latin America, fighting against the the source of these polluters, which is often here in countries like Britain. And our responsibility is to take on those polluters, those billionaires. We've got billionaires in the Home Office, we've got billionaires in the government in number 10 Downing Street telling us how we should live. No! Time is to tell them. And we must also remember the prisoners, many of whom are the political prisoners, who are being locked away because they dared to challenge the status quo. We must remember them and we must free them. They're our people. And in fact, we must not abandon anyone. No one must be abandoned, and we are going to not abandon these pink boats. Many of them have messages on the back through the template letter. They're going to be sent to the MPs, so do not leave any boats here. These boats are not for these people inside. These boats are to be sent and posted and to make the statement that we know these boats are. You should see thousands and thousands of these boats. And thank you for taking it on, because it's been a joy and it's been a pleasure to meet with you all and to talk to so many people who feel the same way about everything for the life of people and the planet. Thank you.
So I think we have a final speaker, and I think the boats are being handed out, so do take one. But yeah, I'd like to introduce our speaker from Hastings Supports the Refugees.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, it's brilliant to be here with so many amazing people. I live in Hastings on the south coast, and about a year and a half ago, a friend and colleague of mine and her daughter were walking along the beach, just out for a Sunday stroll, and she saw a bit of a kerfuffle and a group of people crowded on the beach. And as she got closer, she realised that there was a small boat had come over the sea and onto our beach, which doesn't happen that often. And if they've come to Hastings, it means they're really off course. These people have been at sea for something like 36 hours. Yeah. And people were milling around and no one knew what to do. And it spurned a group of us to set up a beach response team. So if ever anyone lands on our beach or comes in at our lifeboat centre, there is a group of people with boxes in their cars, with dry clothes, yes, with food, with hot drinks, but most of all with a smile and a welcome. And that's really what I wanted to say. Is that even in places that people think are full of Brexit voters or racists, there is so much support because people turn out just like you've done. And it makes a difference. Every single person makes a difference. And I was speaking to a young man from Afghanistan who came in on a boat about a year ago. And he said, thank you for the shoes or the clothes or the cup of tea, but actually he said, thank you for seeing me. Thank you for looking at me and telling me that you are glad that I had made it safely here. And I think that every single time we connect with a human being, it makes such a difference. So turn out, keep on turning out. There is so much support, even in places that you don't expect it. Yes. So we need to keep this going. In Hastings, we've now got one of these so-called accommodation centres in an ex-military base that was then turned into a prison. Sure. And now it's going to be turned into a place to house hugely vulnerable people whose only crime was trying to seek happiness, as that wonderful young man said, and trying to flee from horrendous situations. So we will turn out there and we will stand outside the gates of that camp every single day. Yes. And as long as it takes, if it goes ahead. So please keep on turning out because it makes such a difference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Susie. You've heard here how many groups and organisations are doing this this work. You've heard the names of them. Please try and memorize them and stay in touch, because that's one way that we can do this together. Because this has brought everybody from across the country here, and that is fantastic.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Refugees are welcome here.